You know where to start.
All right, so we'll start with the Bucks because that's what we're here for. You got the 2 seed Boston Celtics up against the 3 seed Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks currently lead that series 1-0. Stole one in Boston. Game 2 is Tuesday. As mentioned, our normal recording time, so that's why we are here today, right now, recording this. So first off, let's just get some series predictions and why. I mean, I know we already a game in, but if anybody wants to question the validity of these picks, we had all put in our picks before the games kicked off. I got text messages to prove it. But regardless, I will just give a spoiler here. All 4 of us were on the same accord with who we had winning this series. So who wants to talk about it first? Eric holding up the 6, Bucks and 6.
I can go since I'm the new Bucks fan.
Look at him. I'm so proud.
No, okay. First of all,
he wants to just beat him. Let me go ahead and.
Look how happy he is talking about the Bucks.
This ain't doing nothing for your bandwagoning reputation.
Hey, that's a Nate fam. You good in mine.
Bandwagon.
You know how Tim and Eric be on you, fam.
Hey, you've been bandwagoning for a while. Hip hop, homie hopping. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, all right. But no, but first off, Giannis is ridiculous, yo. I don't know. Like the more and more I watch, the more and more like I pay attention and like really like watch what he does. Like it's like no, you can't say that he's not the best player in the NBA. And like it's literally like clear cut. Like watching, I was like, dog, this dude literally does like the triple double that he got in this game was like ridiculous. Though
it was a bad
like
game.
what 12? He had what 24, 13, and 12, right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, like I don't know. This first of all, the team is fun to watch. I love watching the Bucks. I love Chris Mid game too, even though he's not, he's out this series. But Boston looked like they just had no clue what to do. Like from jump. Like as soon as they came out there, they was just like they just got hit in the mouth and they just couldn't recover. So I don't know. It was a good fun. It was a fun game to watch. And it was good that happened in Boston. Always fuck Boston.
He got double incentive.
Yeah. Huh?
I said except for the baseball team, apparently.
Yeah, that's it.
Milwaukee ain't Brooklyn. The defense is quite different. Before this series kicked off, I actually was texting these gentlemen here in our group chat, and I was sitting there like, I'm thinking about this series, and what version of the world do you see the Bucks winning? Like, how do the Bucks win this series? Because when I was thinking about it by myself, I really could not see how the pieces fit together. And then Tim actually said something very like quick and profound. Like Eric, we had the back and forth. Then Tim sent the text message, but I still was sitting there like, I don't know, man. Boston's defense is real and they can score. And I was sitting there like, it's going to be a tough challenge going from Chicago to Boston. And I was sitting there like, oh my God. And we had a little call with some folks at the Good News Network. And they asked us, like, how you felt the Bucks, man? You about to play today? And Tim just simply said, defense. That's all I got to say. He was like, the Nets was keeping it within 5-6 points every game. And we got a defense. I am not worried. And when he said that, I was like, what a novel concept. Defense, winning championships.
Got us the first one, our last one. Got the last one for sure. Like you said, like they struggle. One of the things I said about Jaylen Brown, for example. Jaylen Brown, yeah, sure, he put up 21, 24 points in the series, but he always did it at the end of the game. Or he did it in spurts. He did it for a quarter. Or he'll do it for 2, 3, 4 minutes. But it's not consistent throughout the game. So if you can catch him and get him to kind of be off his rocker pretty much the whole game and don't let him just turn up on you, you got a good chance on that on the Jays. Then you have Jason Tatum, where he was putting up 28, 30 points against the Nets. But I said that too. I'm like, we cool with him doing that as long as he's putting up 28 points and 20 shots. 18 shots and take him to get 25. I'm cool with that. because then they struggle the entire game and we'll stay close. Like our defense is gonna be able to. They're like boa constrictors. They slowly just
Choke
up
you
the
out.
pressure, choke you out, and then next thing you know, you're like, damn, I'm asleep. Like, yeah, bro, it's been a wrap. But
Yeah.
it's-
I also thought it would be like at the defensive end because I'm not like I know what the numbers have said since 2022 started with Boston, but I wasn't convinced of their offense. And it's only one game, so I'm trying not to, take a victory lap. But it really was what I thought going into the series, which is it was offensively, the Celtics are built a lot like Chicago. So the blueprint that they set up against Chicago actually grasps pretty well onto how you need to defend Boston. Like, yes, Tatum is terrifying, like on offense. But if you throw most of your resources at clamping off the paint and making life difficult for him, it's like daring everybody else to beat you. Like when he's off the court, then you give that same attention to Jaylen Brown. But Marcus Smart, Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, Grant Williams, like they're gonna have to make shots this series. Like, and I'm not afraid of a 33% shooting Marcus Smart. Like, sure, he can get hot for a game, but he's gonna regress to the mean like over time. So, and if he doesn't, well, then you lose. But like, I think that's a sound defensive strategy to wall off the paint. Like the Bucks allowed, what was it? 10
field goals. 10
inside the
two-pointers.
3-point. Yeah. Like
And it wouldn't have been that if they not got a couple more in garbage time. Yeah.
So like I felt like the national conversation was really lazy. It's like Giannis is gonna have to have the best series of his career for the Bucks to pull it out. It's like you're not even looking at tactics. You know what I mean? You're not looking at strategy. You're only looking at the players that are on the court. Like, yes, they're gonna miss Middleton, but at the same time, like they still have the defensive blueprint to make things difficult. They still have like ways to exploit Boston's defense to an extent, like to score enough. Like the Bucks live in the mud. Like they're comfortable here. They're molded by it.
Okay, Bane.
I'm just saying, like the Bucks, like their offense has been shit in the playoffs for the last 2 years, and they still got by because they know how to defend.
They play
And
defense.
like they slow it down, they grind you out, and they get just enough transition points to beat you.
Yeah, one thing you mentioned, like national media coverage and how they talk about the Bucks, it's like they allow so many 3-pointers, and it's like, yes, that is a true statement. We do, but look who we're allowing them to. It's not like they're trying to let Jason Tatum come out here and shoot 10, 15 threes or Jaylen Brown. No, they are trying to make Marcus Smart, Al Horford, Grant Williams, Peyton Pritchard beat them. Like Eric said, like that's the strategy. Like we don't trust these dudes this much that we're going to put all of our attention on the dudes who we know can kill us. And if we die by the others, then so be it. But we trust in our others and the strength of this defense. And thinking about that Chicago matchup, I was wrong in that sense, thinking that what they were doing against Chicago would not translate to Boston, because it does actually translate pretty well. Like be tighter about it for sure, because Tatum can also shoot threes. He wants to shoot some threes, unlike DeRozan, who was pretty much only mid-range. So you were only guarding the Pacific part of the floor. But same idea. We're gonna force y'all left and we're gonna show y'all a lot of bodies, and y'all do something with it or not, because that's what we're gonna live and die by. But it was a good game. I did not expect us to win game 1. If we were going to still win in Boston, I thought it would be game 2. Because we don't win game 1. We normally suck in those. And it was a noon game. I was like, oh, we out of here. Like it's
about to get smoked.
So we out of here. But Coach Bus said he told the team, like, there's no time to warm up. Like, y'all get out there and let's get it done. Like, we ain't coming into this one slow. And Boston just, as they admitted after the game, they just were underprepared. They were overwhelmed at the physicality that the Bucks had. And it was interesting because Locked On Bucks and Locked On Celtics did a crossover. And the Locked On Celtics guy was saying how he thinks a game of physicality suits Boston so much better than Milwaukee. He's like, if anything, it's going to be even. Like both teams thrive off of it. We'll see in game 2. Game 1, small sample size.
Well, you brought up 2 things. Well, now 3. No, 2. So 1, you brought up DeRozan. and our strategy was allowing them to kind of shoot threes. With DeRozan, though, he is an elite, probably the best mid-range shooter in the NBA. Boston does not have a DeRozan type mid-range shooter on their squad whatsoever.
That should be a top 5 best mid-range shooters in the NBA.
Ooh. I mean, DeRozan probably number 1, and Chris probably number 2. But
Over the guy.
I mean,
Neither here nor there at the moment. We can come back to
it. But number 2, but so that plays well for our defensive strategy, like you were saying before, because of the fact that we're not even giving up. They don't want to shoot the mid-rangers. They want to get to the bucket, or they want to shoot these threes. It helps us even more when they have Robert Williams and Alpha Horford out there, because then Brook can just chill, or Giannis can just chill, or Bobby can just kind of chill. They don't have to necessarily be there, or our weakest defender, which honestly we got some really damn good defenders across the board. But our weakest
even
defender
Grayson was taking cookies. I was shocked.
Yes, just let me get that real quick. Hold on. 2. Physicality. A lot of people felt like Boston's physicality would have been one of their strong suits because of what they did to Brooklyn. Brooklyn mentally, though, don't have that. All right, y'all want to do that? Y'all push me, I'll push you too. What the fuck you mean? They didn't have that fight, and if they do, like, they don't have that mental. Like, they have some kind of mentally weak players in that aspect, where you kind of get under their skin, they done. Boston is kind of that way too. If you can get under Jason Tatum's skin, you kind of get out of there. You get under Jaylen Brown's skin and Marcus Smart, like you can really fuck up. And Marcus Smart start being dirty, he'll start falling even more. You got Jason Tatum.
Stop being dirty.
But I mean, it's kind of like the Chris Paul thing. Chris Paul, he'll have his moments, but then when he's frustrated, then he'll start like nut checks and shit like that. Like,
wait, can I stop you real quick? Speaking of, when Robert Williams got kicked,
boy, they didn't want to call timeout for that man for nothing. My man was up and down the court holding his shit for 3 possessions. I'm like, damn, so my man's walking up the court holding his shit, yelling at Jason Tatum, call timeout for me, god damn. He in my man's ear, call timeout. They were like, damn, fuck, god damn. Commercial break, shit.
I was like, what is wrong with dude? And then my husband on the couch, he was like, I think he got kicked, And I was like, they don't have him out for that long. Like, he'd been laboring for a while, and he just sat there quietly. And he just went, And when he saw the replay, he went, oh, like, yeah, clean. Yeah. I was like, can't understand the pain, but
surprised he didn't throw up.
I was just gonna say that. Like, I think it looked. I would have threw him like, oh god.
Like, that shit be wild, bro.
But I do really like watching him play basketball. Robert Williams, that kid's a dog. Oh, yeah. I really like watching him play. Yeah, he's super bouncy. I really like him. And I want people to be clear who are listening to this. I had Bucks in 7. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's supposed to be a sweep. This should be a series. Mm-hmm. I expect Boston to make some adjustments because, to Tim's point, they could try to get Jaylen and Jason loose in the mid-range. Like, we're going to try to free y'all up a little bit more in this area. We'll see. Like, I'm very curious to see how game 2 looks. I want to see what adjustments are made, because if Milwaukee walks out of Boston with 2 wins,
we don't lose these closing games, bro. We close a motherfucker out. We'll give y'all shit back.
That'll be a long wait till Saturday for game 3 for Boston. It's going to be a lot of slander. I will not be engaging in it. I'm going to tell you right now. The Bucks win.
Shit, I am. Fuck you mean?
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Series ain't over till the series over, fam.
They left early. The series over. Them motherfuckers are like, bro, I said on Twitter, the game ain't over yet. Where y'all going? If y'all was winning, y'all sat y'all ass there. Y'all wouldn't have left early. Now all of a sudden, y'all
I remember the 2019 Eastern Conference Finals.
Right. That's why I'm like, I'm not getting too high.
2-0 means nothing.
Hey.
Shit, I was thinking even the Boston series that year, like, they came in, smacked us at home,
and then we won the next 4. Yep. So basketball comes at you fast. So like,
I ain't saying shit till
it's over.
Till they're at least up 2 games. One thing about the physicality. So Marcus Smart last week talked about his undeserved Defensive Player of the Year award.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 1 game, but he was at best the 4th best defender on that court on Sunday.
My man's getting beat up too.
Feel like Drew took that personally.
That was my neck. I have it written down. Drew took that personally.
Drew took that person. All right.
Yeah.
I'm teammate of the year. I'm gonna clamp your ass, Mr. Defensive Player.
Man, and clamp he did.
Mm-hmm.
Clamp.
Shout out to Javon Carter. That man is a fucking
Shout out to Brooklyn for letting him go for us, man.
Hell yeah. Y'all need a defense. Y'all let go of the defenders. Not defenders.
Well, he was bad for them, so like I got it, but
Hey, schemes matter.
Yeah.
Where you like scheme matter, and
Defense didn't in Brooklyn. That's like we can let you go, boss. All right.
The 6 foot dude,
this man?
like he ain't gonna help the Nets. He wouldn't have helped the Nets in this series they just had against Brooklyn. But in the scheme with the Bucks, where you playing sound team, where you play some team defense too, and everybody around you is locked in and they talking and hitting their rotations. Even though Grayson Allen, I'll be looking at Grayson like, boy, if you don't rotate over where they telling you to rotate, it was at least twice. At least twice I saw them literally like, go! And he still ran the wrong way. I'm like, boy, listen, Grayson, they telling you your rotation behind you. Rotate!
We ain't trying to hear that.
He know what he there for. He there to shoot. He ain't there to hold defense.
Hi, Jabari.
But yeah, that series has been fun. Any other closing thoughts on Bucks Boston before we move on to Miami Philly?
Fuck, I just had one.
Bucks and 6.
Yes, always.
Let me pull up the predictions.
You can go.
Let me pull up the predictions. You remember what y'all Bucks predictions were?
Bucks and 6.
Yeah, but
Fuck you mean?
Y'all did.
It's the only way.
Okay.
Even if
It
we
was
don't
okay.
go sweep them, it's Bucks and 6.
Here you go. All right.
Oh, that's what it was. National conversation. So again, coming into the series, it was all about, Bucks don't have Middleton. They don't really have a shot unless Giannis is Giannis. Now it's funny because like a couple different ones have given like completely different things for like what Boston needs to do. Like one dude's like, Boston needs to just embrace all them 3-pointers. Like they need to shoot more. I'm like, okay. And the other was like, well, they just made bad decisions. And it's like they were kind of forced into them bad decisions. Like sure, Tatum and Brown were bad, independent. Like part of it was Bucks defense, and part of it was I don't know what the fuck Jaylen Brown was on. But
he
Tatum,
said his hamstring was fine, but it looked like he was laboring at times out there.
7 turnovers.
I mean, some of it was like decision making though, which
That
again
too.
like is forced by the Bucks. But some of it is just like he chose to attack on a 1-on-2 fast break. It's like you don't have the numbers. Like why are you going at Brook Lopez? Like that don't make sense.
Hey, man, bro, come on now.
But like Jason Tatum, like I think that was much more so defense because like they threw all their attention at stopping him and like not letting him get off and forcing him off the ball. So like people are still trying to like rationalize like, well, I had Boston going in and they can do these simple things to make it better. It's like I don't think the Bucks are gonna only allow 10 made field goals from inside, from 2-point land, but I think that the strategy is still going to be that going forward. So unless they can find a way to kind of unless they can make enough shots to pull the Bucks out of a deep drop, I don't think that those avenues are really going to be there because it's like Marcus Smart and Al Horford and Grant Williams can hit 23-pointers, which I think they damn near did in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bucks still aren't going to defend them any differently. Like, even if they lose a game, it's like, well, do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because keep in mind, too, the Bucks started the first half. They were 10-20 from 3, and then they finished the game like 12-34. Like, the Bucks got cold from 3 in the second half, and they were still able to pull out that victory because...
Goddamn, Wes Matthews.
Hey, get off Wes. We told you about hitching your wagon to Wes Matthews, making these open threes.
I had faith in my man. 6 threes, bro. You hit one. I know I counted at least 4 wide open. He in my living room and shit, wide open. Still can't hit shit.
I'll sit here in my living room.
That's how they get you, brother. Like they dangle something that seems very attainable in your face when in reality, ain't no way to shit.
I was like grading the 5.
I do have one one last point with this series I want to say and then we can move on. But I'm interested to see how bodies hold up over the course of this series. Like thinking of physicality, like Marcus Smart looked bad out there. The shoulder stinger looked like it hurt, but the fact that he's been dealing with a quad, I did too. But the fact that he's dealing with a quad, like contusion, he's been getting hit on his quad over and over. Like,
well, some of that's self-inflicted because he keeps throwing his bodies around.
But he also missed time earlier in the season because of quad problems. So, like, to see him getting banged up in that way, I just don't know over a course of a series how long he'll hold up. Same with Al Horford, where it's like Al Horford had a good game one, but similar to what we talked about with Chris Paul, where it's like, hey, you might get a dud game in there in between time because it just takes a little bit longer to recover. So I'm just curious to see how some bodies will hold up. It was interesting hearing Giannis. Yeah, it was interesting hearing Giannis say like he doesn't feel right if he don't feel beat up after a game. Like he's like, I welcome it, I look forward to it, I want it. I was like, you psycho.
Give it
my asshole, bitch.
Whoop my the good days.
Good times.
Good old days.
But yeah, I'm just interested to see how that holds up. But I will say for the Boston side, them having off the amount of time that they will between games 2 and 3 should probably do them good. So I expect a very rejuvenated Boston team when they get here to Milwaukee.